Okay, speaking of getting back to campus, not only are students getting back soon, the team reports on Tuesday and then camp starts on Wednesday. Richie, what stands out to you the most? This is an earlier camp. Again, we got the week 0 game against Duquesne, so it's earlier than I think it's ever been. Pros and cons to that, but I do like it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an extra week of practice throughout the year. Um, Certainly not going to complain about that. But starting camp before anybody else does, what stands out to you about camp being this week and upcoming?
Yeah, just really looking forward to it. It's the unofficial start to a new year of college sports, right? And we wait for this all the time. It used to be EA Sports NCAA was like the unofficial start to the season.
Yeah.
We get that back next year, so shout out that and go again. Subscribe to YouTube, and you'll see TJ playing all these games at 3 a.m. and his wife's waiting for him to come back to bed. But he's dedicated, so we appreciate it. But yeah, I'm super excited. Some of the things I'm looking forward to is QB2, right? For the first time since 2017 with DeAndre Francois, we know who the starting quarterback is heading into fall camp. Jordan Travis, it's his job. He could have a terrible camp and still be the first or still be QB1. I do not expect him to have a terrible camp. I think we've seen a lot of progress from him. But the newcomers to me is the headline, right? What are these newcomers, these transfers going to do? Whether it be a Micah Pittman returning punts at receiver, whether it be a Tatum Bethune, Jared Verse, how is he going to replace Jermaine Johnson? There's a lot of storylines. And for me, it's all about the newcomers.
Yeah, I'm also really, really intrigued to see one newcomer that you didn't mention, but how much Winston Wright participates. We talked a lot on FSU Spaces on whatever day we did on Friday with Newberg was in there about wide receivers and that wide receiver position. And, I think we all kind of assumed that Winston would be Florida State's #1 this year, and he very surely still may be. But it might be tougher, having missed the spring, if he misses any of fall camp, it'll be even tougher. But I want to see how much he is able to kind of get out there and how much he's practicing and how much he's able to push it. Because that's going to be a real big indicator for what he looks like in the season, right? Can he get some burn against Duquesne? Can he get in against LSU? Can he have that burn against Duquesne so that he can get out there and be productive against LSU, right? If LSU's really some of his first action, I don't know how much you're really depending on him. And so that's going to be a really big one to me. How the offensive line gels together, who you see taking the majority of snaps at centers or at center, if it is in fact the transfer Lyles or which direction they go there. I think that could be really, really big. But yeah, I think, for the most part, I think we know the team that we have. I think everybody feels like it's going to be Benson at RB1 going into camp, see if anything changes there or if anybody kind of takes him over between Philly and Trayshawn. I'm hearing some, we talked about the wide receivers. I'm hearing some, and I feel like Berg is right? Like we got a room full of guys that are like 3 or 4s. I don't know how many ones or 2s, but somebody's going to step up and be the #1 wide receiver this year, and we'll kind of see who that is. I'm hearing a lot of positive things about Ja'Kai Douglas. Works really, really hard, made some huge splash plays. Everybody remembers 4th and 14, but if Ja'Kai doesn't make that catch going down the sideline on, I believe, a 3rd and long pass from Jordan Travis on that last drive against Miami, I don't know that 4th and 14 ever even happens. He also caught a huge touchdown against Notre Dame. So I've heard some positive things about Ja'Kai. The wide receiver room is absolutely loaded, though, with guys that all have similar talents. So I don't know that he's going to jump ahead of, 5 people or whatever. But I think that's another one that's really, really exciting to see. Talk about special teams, as something that, kind of stands out and who can catch a punt this year. You mentioned Pittman. Can anybody, stop losing yardage on the punts that go back 15 yards after hitting the ground? So, yeah, a lot to look forward to, a lot to watch. The guys will go to Jacksonville. The guys on the beat, that we always comment on and always kind of commend Sonone and those guys. They do a great job covering and more than just them. I was talking with Ben at Tomahawk Nation. They do a really good job and covering the team. So excited to kind of read their reports, see what's said. There's a lot of coach speak that happens after this stuff. And so, I don't know that you find anything super definitive, but it's an exciting time. I think you really, really, like you said, it's the start of not only football season, but it's just the start of FSU athletics in general, right? Like all of it's coming back. And so it's really, really exciting. And